Hi, welcome along to the fan forum, NUFC fan forum. We've got a couple of us as we speak. We've got the mighty Win and Lewis on screen, and then we're going to have a few more come through the door in a moment. I know Ben's here with us. Hello, Ben.
How we doing?
And I'm just going to do a quick shout out to the crew. Make sure that we're all singing, all dancing. Don't forget, if you're watching across all parameters, welcome. And if you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe, hit the like, and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like us. Either way, it just gives us a little bit of a chance to get across to a wider audience. Thanks to the mods in the background for all your relentless work and efforts that you do for us. If you fancy supporting the channel and giving us a membership, then please do so. It's a couple of quid a month, and it just gives you a chance to win a little prezi as we go along. Chris usually organises the prezzies, and if you want to have a look at the content, we've got some writers. Win's one writer, DX is another writer, and what we get is up-to-date content on NUFC.com. And what we'll do there's no ads. We do it completely for free. We don't get paid for it, so you can read at your heart's content without being disturbed. Apologies for not mentioning all of the content that's on there. If you do want a question that's read out and it's suitable, then put a Q in front of it so I can see it. But if you want to be guaranteed, then hit the $sign and we can make sure that your chat is available. And any new members or anything that's gifted to anybody else, then what we'll do, we'll highlight you and say thank you. So, I can see Rowley in the chat there, so I'm going to add Rowley to the stage. Welcome, my friend.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello. So, how are we today? Are we all well?
Yeah. Tired from yesterday.
Tired from yesterday?
Yeah, I went to the pub to watch the game and got home late for me, and I'm an algit, so I can't do it on a regular basis.
Chris may come on in a minute because, like I say, I know he's been busy in the background with some stuff. He may make the show, he may not. But what we're going to do, I think we should start with again. Apologies, my mate to the side of me, my right wing man. Has sent me a camera which I've mounted above my big monitor above me. So I'm looking at you guys, but it doesn't look like I'm looking at you at all. It's just because it's above my head. So please don't think I'm being ignorant when I'm not looking directly at the screen. I am. It's just that the camera's just a little bit above my head. I'm going to be concentrating a little bit on what's being said in the chat. But what I want to ask you guys, and I want to start with Win. Amanda Stavely. Obviously, she's told the club now that she's leaving. Now we've had a little bit of time to think about it and obviously digest the information, because I think at the time we got the information, me and Win were live on show, so it was literally through the chat that we found out, wasn't it, buddy? And because we hadn't read up on it and we hadn't really had any chance to digest it, it was probably just washed aside to a degree, because we were both assuming that they'd relinquished their the shares, but they were going to stay on at the club as part of the directorate and background to support going forward. But now, having looked into it with a little bit of detail, it doesn't look like it is. So, Will, I'm going to come to you first. And you can give us your bits, and then we'll go on to Lewis, then Rowley, then Ben. Hey, welcome, Ben. It's lovely to see you, mate. I know you haven't got long. So I'll tell you, Ben, how long did you say you've got? An hour or so, did you say?
Yeah, I got to shoot off about 5:30 my time, so 25 more.
Okay, buddy.
25
okay. So go on then, Win. Fire away. What's your thoughts now?
Well, stuff as it sounds, it's like end of era, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what an era. Not a very long one, but my God, what a difference. What a difference 3 years makes. And of course, she was at it before the actual takeover, she had 3 years of it more or less before that, trying to put all the ducks in a row and eventually succeed in getting rid of the fat bastard. So I will be eternally grateful to Amanda Staveley. What's gone on behind the scenes, I don't think anybody will find out until we're told. We do know that the major investment company has for some time now been struggling a bit, shall we say, which was one of the reasons that I think it's fairly well documented that she actually borrowed the money for her initial 10% investment,
Mm-hmm.
the Rubens, and was then able to repay that full 10%, the full amount that she borrowed from the Rubens by selling them 4% of her shares once they had risen sufficiently in price to match the 10%. Now, whether that has been not enough to cover whatever other expenses she's had in her other business enterprises, I don't know. But then she sold the rest and was allegedly staying on in an executive capacity. And that now, it would appear, has also come to an end. But so I don't think we'll ever know until somebody comes out and tells us exactly what's going on. I just hope that it's all finished amicably, because we've got a hell of a lot to be thankful for.
Oh, absolutely.
The way she persisted, when it was right through the Premier League court case and everything, and when everybody, famously Jordan saying it's deader than a dead time, and it'll never happen. Well, she made him eat those words, didn't she?
Yeah.
So all I'll say is thank you, Mandy.
Absolutely.
Oh, Mandy.
Mandy.
She gave herself to me. Yeah, thank you very much, Amanda, and of course, me, Dad.
Exactly. Lewis, give us your thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, I can still remember the day when we got took over. 'Cause I was at St. James's Park when we got took over. I was at St. James. I'll never forget that. That was one of the best experiences I could have. But it just seems a bit of a shame. 3 years, it doesn't seem long enough. She said 5 years. And then she would look to sell her shares. It just seems like it's come up like as a bombshell, as we would say. And but I'm hoping in a way, like as we've been saying, she might leave completely, but you never know. In time, she might come back. The club might say, "Do you want to help us out as well?" Still, because you never know, that could be in the plans long term afterwards. But it just seems
I don't think so, matey. I think they'll go on to pastures new now. Her job of what she was obviously employed to do, if you like, is done. But now I understand.
By the way, if her legacy was to leave us with Paul Mitchell, yet another brilliant job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Rowley, your thoughts on Amanda, buddy?
It's a real shame that she's gone. It's a bit like when your girlfriend tells you that she's left you, but not for someone else. It's a bit gutting. But what her and my dad have done in the time they were involved in the club has just been fantastic. They've totally turned the club round. We can dare to hope. And they built on that, so we've got a team that hopefully will get us a trophy, possibly next season. I've supported Newcastle since the 77-78 season. Even in the Keegan era, I didn't have as much optimism for the future as I do now. most of the time we've just been either in what was the second division sort of championship, or at the bottom end of the first stroke Premier League. But being in the middle, there's only been a few brief times in Keegan and Sir Bobby's time where we're actually in the top half Champions League sort of level. But most of the time it's just been in the middle of the division or at the bottom. But now we're in a situation where we're going to be challenging at the top, season in, season out.
Just on that, Rolly, where would you put the season before last in relation to, say, the Keegan and Robson era?
I think it's difficult because obviously the league was so much different then as it was here, but in overall achievement, you've got to say it's second to the.
I'm talking about enjoyment, really.
Enjoyment. If you talk about enjoyment, I think it's neck and neck with us finishing second when we had that 12-point lead, because the football was thrilling. We were winning all the time, and it's at that level. I wouldn't say it's necessarily if we'd won the Carabao, I'd have put it better, but I think it's on a par. But I think again, as I said, the league was so much different. There weren't as many strong sides in the league as there are now. So on that point, I'd put it better, because the competition's a lot more, fiercer now than it was then. Because you really had Manchester United and us, and there was no one else that was getting close. Now, obviously, City rule the roost, and you've got Arsenal are really good. You've got Liverpool, you've got Chelsea. Obviously, this season you've got Aston Villa, Man United. It's a lot more competitive. So on that point, the season before last would be better. But entertainment-wise, I think they were a match.
I just got more enjoyment out of it. I think it's because of where we'd come from in such a short time. And get the whole post-Ashley buzz and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going back way before you as well. It's the best season I've had since the 60s. And again, the reason I bring it up is because to me, it's largely thanks to Amanda.
Yeah,
that
came about. Is that I'm more optimistic now than I was with the entertainers team. The sky's the limit. Once we know what's happening with this, the PSR and the associated parties
transactions,
transactions, we'll know exactly where we stand. Hopefully, we'll hear something from that Man City case soon. And then we'll know exactly where we are. I mean, at the moment, we've still got the training gown, the training kit to be sponsored, and the result of that case will have a big bearing on how much we can get from that. And I think one of the things for this associated party trading that people forget is that when they say, "Oh, we can go get someone off Saudi," in the PFI scheme of things, their big thing is the Saudi league. They want to get that into a top 10 league. Having Newcastle helps that. So they're not going to do us any favours. They're going to negotiate hard, and they've got the money to do that. But they want to build their league out. That's their biggest consideration. We help them do that because having a Premier League team, it really raises the profile of football in Saudi. They obviously make some money because they've got a big club that's known in Europe and across the world that their fans can latch onto. They've got a Premier League club. So that's the role that Newcastle play. Whereas their main goal is to build the Saudi league. So people seem to forget that, and they think, "Oh, well, they'll just go to Saudi, and the Saudis have given hundreds of millions of pounds." That's just not the case. I mean, they get very good. I mean, you look at Salah and Noon; they are if they knew what they were getting when they sponsored her, they'd probably have paid triple what they did.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing about these APTs. The global recognition of the Premier League is worth, you know, even for a company to go and sponsor, and I'm picking them for no reason, but the likes of Bournemouth, they know that their brand is going to be seen globally by billions every week. Which is the sort of recognition that very few places offer.
That's right. Just before I go over to Ben, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to the Queen of Hearts here. It was a birthday today.
Birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Queenie. Happy birthday to you. I hope you've had a good one, sweetheart. Well done. Ben, give us your takes on it. You're all going to wish now your birthday never comes, aren't you? After hearing that rendition.
I didn't know much about Amanda before actually the documentary on Amazon came out.
Yeah. Nobody did, mate, to be fair.
Yeah, right. But after watching that, she came across really lovely person and hard worker. And I sat in her seat at the park on my stadium tour last year. And I think she's going to do a great job, whatever she does. I hope she doesn't go and hook up with another maybe lower tier team and do the same thing that she did with our team. But I wish her well. I mean, that's apart from what everybody else said. That's my contribution, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't know who the girl was. I loved the enthusiasm in July, and I wanted to obviously give. Hi, Dom. I wanted to give. You know, it was like a lot of optimism, and there was a lot of passion from the girl and everything else. Now, obviously, I really didn't know how she was going to come on board because we've heard it so many times, you know. And then obviously there was this fight behind the scenes with, obviously, I say fight up. There was legal issues against streaming piracy from BN Sports. So there was a lot of toing and froing going on because of the PIF. And then obviously once they obviously paid £1 billion back to BN Sports to get rid of this issue. And then as soon as that, I mean, you know, you can't expect a Premier League who obviously show these games across the world globally and obviously get paid by other streaming agencies to just be on board and say, yeah, of course you can come on board. Not until you get, you know, you've sorted out the issues. So once PIF had paid off their dues, you know, October 21, I'll never forget it. You know, it was as if we'd won the league that day. The amount of support down, the amount of people down in front of St James's Park, you know, all the reporters were just buzzing, and you could just get that vibe. And to be fair, I've never really understood her role. She's always been the face of the company, if you like, and it's only since, I suppose, this year when you've seen the likes of Brad Miller coming on board, Paul Mitchell. These are new guys, CEOs, and it made me wonder then, you know, are they putting the final jigsaw pieces together behind the scenes before they say goodbye? And I mean, obviously we know that there's some financial scrutiny going on in the background because of, you've heard about the Greek guy. There was obviously money borrowed from Mike Ashley, blah, blah, blah. But to me, that's immaterial. I mean, the only question mark I had was the fact that we had all this PSR issue at the end of June. Now, I'm not sure, and I don't want to speculate. If that was that the PIF saying, we need to get tighter, we need to get more on board, we need to have more control. So I'm making this group a smaller group, or whether it's just Amanda saying, we've done our job, thank you guys, all the best for the future. And to me, like I said, she goes with an absolutely glowing rapport. I will always remember that day as the new dawn of Newcastle, because that's how it feels. And like I say, every supporter, Be a Viking, has put exactly what I'm thinking. I don't recall a director ever being so popular with fans. She played a historic and heroic role in getting Mike Ashley out of Newcastle United and gave hope to supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Give us our club back.
And that is exactly right. Dom, what's your thoughts on this girl and Medrad? And how do you feel now you've heard the news and you've had time to digest it?
Okay. So, well, firstly, good morning from Malaysia, guys.
I'm just going to let the viewers know, this lad, is he 5 o'clock in the morning over in Malaysia? I cannot fault this lad's commitment. He goes to bed an hour earlier just to get on the show and join us. So hats off to you, my friend.
No. It's all good. I've been telling my mates, I kind of miss you guys. You guys are great. It's always fun to. The banter is fun. I enjoy being on. I like you guys. So it's not a big deal, really. Not a big deal. Anyways, okay, back to the question. Actually, okay, coincidentally, we've been talking about this as well, because in Malaysia, we get a lot of lads passing along the links, right? So I've got a few people sending me the exact links about Merdad and Amanda leaving, and then they're literally asking me like, hey, what's this about? What's this about, right? So we've been talking about this for the past day and a half. So if you ask me, and I've told everyone the same thing, I said, look, this is not something new, okay? This is something from the very beginning. They have not. It was the plan was to be for them to be facilitators to come in. So when they've got CEO, when they've got Darren Eales, they've got the important people to run the club, right? They've got Darren Eales, they've got Pete Silverstone. They have obviously now maybe Mitchell is the last piece of the puzzle. I don't know, right? But with all these people in, essentially, Manda and Merdad technically has no real role anymore. When they came in, they were there to steady the club. They were there to give direction. They were there to give make certain decisions for the club. But then now that they've stayed long enough to bring in a proper team, so technically they're if you think about it, there's no need for them anymore. So, but I think Toon fans worldwide will always see them as I think like a messiah, right? There's a messiah complex there, because they literally came in at the darkest possible fucking time. I've been supporting the Toon for 30 years, mates, right? 30 years, and this is Ashley years were the darkest ever, right? It was so
tell
dark.
me about it.
Okay, in 2020, I was in podcast, and I think there was a podcast. I think I shared it with a few of the guys like a few months earlier. I was in a podcast in 2020, and I was absolutely ranting. I was just ranting. I was going on and on about how angry I was, how sad I was, and it was so it was such a long rant that viewers were writing and saying that like, hey, who's this guy, man? It's like everyone was being sympathetic because I was just so upset about it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we'll always remember Amanda and Merdad as being a lovely face. We'll always see them as messiahs, saviors of the club, right? But the reality is, we have to, if we just dissociate ourselves with the emotions of it, they were there, they were important to facilitate the takeover of Newcastle. Okay, I think they found the Reuben brothers. They found PIF, right? Who had the capital, who had the backing to save our club, and we'll forever be grateful for that. I think that's facts are facts. And while they were there, they were absolute. They were perfect. They were a great ambassador of the club from the very beginning, all the way until today. They're great ambassadors of the club. They gave us hope. They gave us belief again. So it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if they leave tomorrow, they leave 5 minutes from now, but we'll always be grateful, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well said.
So, well said, buddy. Just, you can 2 seconds, mate. 2 seconds.
No
Dom,
problem.
Hold on. Have a look at this, matey. Dom, stand up and let's have a look at this shirt, buddy.
I was about to say the same thing. How the hell?
Let me have a look at this shirt, Dom. Because everybody's looking, everybody's asking. Love the shirt, Dom. There you go, boys and girls. The new shirts.
Speaking the elephant in the room, how the hell have you got that already?
You see,
Okay,
that's the beauty of Malaysia.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, let's just be clear, right? This is not a China copy. Okay, this is not the China copy. This is an actual Adidas shirt, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say it out too loud, right? But one of my mates he's an official reseller, official supplier in Malaysia. So he's got the kits. I mean, like a lot of the suppliers have the kits in advance. But this guy is a good friend of mine. So the moment he received the kits, he messaged a few of us in the main groups. He's like, "Oh, I've got this." I was like, "Do you want to have a look?" So I was over there.
Have a look. I want one.
Yeah. I don't just want to look at it.
So I was over. I had some kids with him because he was setting up name sets and some of my kids, right? So I immediately went over. I had a look, and it's okay. It's okay if you guys want to know. Okay, all right. I mean, I don't know if it's relevant to the show or not, right? But I had a few comments about it, right? Because, like, for example, this is the replica, right? But the replica kit is lovely. The material is great. Okay, I was just telling some lads, if you compare it to the home replica, all right, the away replica, the material is softer and different, and it's brilliant. The home replica is thicker, right? It's a bit thicker than the home authentic, but the away replica has this brilliant soft material, so it feels like an authentic, like a pro kit jersey.
Brilliant.
So it's great. It's great, and
it looks lush, mate. To be fair, it does look lush. It looks really nice.
Very nice.
I mean, I've got the original shirt, the original one of that, because that was my favourite away strip. I think it's probably I've got two joint ones. And I can't remember what season it was. Remember the one where you got the stripe down the side, the orange stripe. That's another one of my favourite away strips. But I may get the. I don't think I'm going to get that one because I've already got it from the original. But I might get the white one because I like the white one. I'm just going to have a look at these couple of comments here. Beer said it's been a hell of a ride, but I think it was planned. We moved into the second stage of the plan, become more ruthless. And yeah, I agree. Queenie has said, Amanda Stavely, the original Queen of Geordieland. Thank you for what you have done. Couldn't have said it any better.
Indeed.
Amanda, she's from Yorkshire. She's a Yorkshire lass.
I mean, the only thing that lets her down, is she's a Liverpool fan. I mean, what more can I say? So, swiftly, has anybody got anything else before I move on to the next subject? Are we all Amanda Stavely out? Yeah?
Yeah, but now we know that is technically that's an exclusive. We know that's the away kit.
Technically, we know it's the away kit. Yeah.
Just one last thing I'd add is I actually had the pleasure of meeting her. Staying at the Crowne Plaza for the first game, opening game of the season, a couple of seasons ago. Just getting ready to go, and I thought, should I bother her? And she had the time to have a little chat with me. It was a really lovely lady.
Yeah. I mean, there's a, like I said, everybody I've spoken to that has had the beauty of meeting this girl, I've all come across as and has said, how warm, how much she wants to get to know you, type of thing. I mean, I know she's a busy woman and everything else, but she's always got time to have a photo. She's always got time to say hello to you. She's very welcoming, and the only thing that I suppose, the only thing that's slightly upsetting now is the fact that the amount of support she gave the ladies team, now we're up into the championship. I just hope, I'm not saying she's going to stay around for that because I think that's just not fair, but I just hope that the support is still there, because I think she went probably swung more towards the ladies to push as well, to try and get them more involved and to get more promotion with them, as much as she did with the obviously the men's team. But there's more of I always find that there's more of a backroom staff for the men's Premier team than there was at the time for when the women's was just coming through. So I hope there's some support there to carry that legacy on, if I'm honest.
No, I think there will be, because you look at the players that they're bringing in. So I don't think the momentum's going to slow down anymore, because they've shed half of their squad.
They bought some cracking signings, haven't they? On the ladies team.
We bought a player from the Mackhams as well.
Yeah, well, they got the Golden Glove from the Championship, Claudia Moan, and then who's that girl we've just bought from Man City? The right back, the Lioness. And mine's her name's gone out of my head now. It'll come to me in a second. But going on to players, I was going to ask you guys what you think of the thoughts around this lad, Jonathan Davis, this Canadian guy who hasn't set the world alight in the Copa. I'll give you that, but his club form has been absolutely outstanding. He's been scoring goals in club football, left, right, and centre. Like I say, he's not very good and to be fair, the Canadian forward line I always find have been quite impressive during the Copa. But I just haven't seen enough of him. Now, a lot of people that I've spoken to, it's been very much a mixed bag of where they see this lad in the crew. I mean, Lille finished 7th. Oh, sorry, that's just the what's name. I was looking at where they finished last year. Lille finished 4th last year, and a lot of the contributory goals for Lille last year was from this lad, David. So, I mean, how do you feel? What's your thoughts on him as a player?
Bring him in, Gary.
You want Jonathan in straight away? I mean, he's got a hell of a pace. Don't get me wrong. He's such a pacey guy. Does a lot of that selfish running, if you like, into the channels. He should be valued at around about 25 to 30 million. So, because he's only got one more year left on his contract.
Back in 2 seconds.
All right, buddy.
Bring him in, Gary.
You're all for it. Why are you all for it, Ben?
Because of what you just showed there, all the stats. Yeah, I know they didn't light it up in the Copa, but he had some real tough games, Argentina and the like. Bring the kid in. We need another striker behind Isak. And, whatever we're doing with Wilson, I don't know. But bring this guy in. Bring somebody in. I want to see names coming in, Gary.
I know, yeah. Everybody says that. Everybody says that they want to see this lad. I mean, let's just say, let's put him against somebody like, say, Isaac. And we're going to, I mean, I don't know whether. Go on, mate.
Put him against Wilson. Type in Wilson.
Against Wilson? Yeah, but he's a different type of player, isn't he? Wilson's not a runner. This guy's a runner.
Yeah, but that's what we want. We want a runner. I want a runner.
So, compared against Wilson, as you can see here, his metrics are much better than Wilson's.
There you go.
Tacking's very similar. Creativity's better. Technical ability's a little bit better.
What else do you need?
Defending, it doesn't really matter, and tackling, it doesn't matter. But, you know, from my point of view, I know people were saying about, like, you know, he can only play striker. But if you have a look at his heat map, he does tend to drift out on the right-hand side. So I was just wondering whether he could be that player that they bring in to do. Because if you have a look here, look, he's both-footed. So he's quite happy to use both feet. He's got electric pace, good technical ability. I don't know what it is about this lad that makes me worry that he's still. I mean, yeah, he's unproven in the Premiership. We know that, and I know like people say that Ligue 1 isn't the big thing since sliced bread. But when you look at, like, you know, he's rated at 7.22. Now you look at this as a heat map in Ligue 1. You know, the lad covers literally every single area up front. And again, I've kept that on there. And look at the difference between him. I mean, it's not a million miles away, but there is a difference, isn't there?
Get the deal done. That's the last thing I'm going to say. I got to shoot off. I love you guys. Get the deal done.
Ben,
get in.
Thank you for joining us, my friend.
Yes, cheers. Enjoy.
Whatever you're doing, have a good one.
I got to get my.
Is that all? You look. I mean, come on, man. How much more handsome do you need to be?
Listen. That's why I got an appointment with the guy. He's a good guy. I got to get in there.
No problem, matey. Take it easy. Up the tune. Cheers, buddy. So come on then, guys. Give me your thoughts on this lad.
I would get him as well. Why not?
Go on then, Lewis. Tell me why. Why would you get him? Why is this lad the be all and end all in your eyes?
Because then obviously we know Callum Wilson's injury prone. It doesn't. It's not the same as Callum Wilson, but at least if we get him, sell Callum Wilson. David gets the number 9 shirt. Because he's number, I think he's number, but he likes his number 9. I
mean, the way I look at it, if I'm honest, he comes with a decent backing. You know, there's a lot of very good. I don't want to keep saying names because it makes him sound like a worldie, but there's been some really high profile forward players that have retired now, that have come on board and said that this lad should definitely play in the Premiership.
Mm-hmm.
Rowley, give us your thoughts, bud.
I don't know enough about him. I've not I saw him in the World Cup. I'm aware of him. But my sort of concern is that is he going to want to be the main striker? Because that ain't happening. Because that's Isaac.
Well, I think that's the big thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, I think he could be the good number 2 because he gives you something different to Isaac. He's probably more direct than Isaac, and because he can play with both feet, he could probably, command across all 3 positions, as daft it looks. But you're right. I don't think that lad will come in until we know what's happening with Wilson.
Yeah, that's point. I mean, again, are they looking at him to play that right wing position, or are they looking for someone that's a more dedicated right winger? It's all a case of how he fits into
the mould.
Want to pay and whether he's happy with that. It's from the stats. It's hard to judge. Right, his metrics are good, but the league he's playing in isn't great. But a lot of players coming from the French league do really well in the Premier League, and obviously Bruno's a case in point. But it's a good league for developing players. But again, is he going to want to go to a club where he's the undisputed number one striker, or is he happy to play slightly out of position if that's what they want to do, or just be the rotation guy? And I think that's will determine whether he comes or not.
I mean, I think what we've got to do now is we've got to look at. We know we can't play Isaac for the entire season, but what we also can't do is not have somebody that gives us that we lose the momentum. You know, I often found last year, you know, Isaac didn't have great games every game, and I don't expect him to. But because Wilson obviously wasn't always available, we probably played Isaac a couple of games too many in my eyes. He needed resting. He needed coming off. I don't know whether it was the fact that he was just having, you know, his poor ability at the time. Whatever it was, whether it was just a game too many at that time and he needed a rest. But we just didn't have anybody on the bench to obviously pull him off and give him that option. So yeah, you're right. I want somebody on board now that we can do that, and we've got the option rather than just playing Isaac every game.
My internet has come back on just in time to stop this madness.
What madness?
Jonathan Davies is not good enough for Newcastle United, even as a second striker or a third striker.
How do you know that?
Because I've just watched him play every game in the Copa America.
Yeah, but that's what I said. You can't play on, you know, because at the end of the day, if you have a look at his domestic league, I mean, there's a lot of high. I was just saying to the lads, I've been looking a bit more into him today because I only took on board what I'd see, like yourself, in the Copa. I don't watch the French leagues or anything like that. And as I've said to the lads, I don't think the French leagues are as strong as the Premiership. But, you know, you can only play what's in front of you. And for the last few years now in Ligue 1, he's ripped them apart in a quite a not poor, but mediocre Lille side. So from that aspect, I think he would definitely be good for a second striker. I couldn't see any issues with bringing him as an understudy for Isaac. And like I say, when the high profile retired strikers say,
unless he's had 5 stinkers in America there, the number of chances and half chances that he's had, and you know, you're talking about yes, he's fast. I'll grant you he's fast, but his control has just been absolutely non-existent. He's had the opportunity to win 2 games for Canada single-handed and failed.
Yeah.
On the big stage, admittedly. I mean, you know, to be fair, you could look at it. You could look at England's side.
I look at Harry Kane. Yeah, exactly.
If you're thinking about buying Harry Kane or Bellingham or Foden on the strength of the performances over there, you'd think they were crap players. So maybe is that something to think about? But I think you can. I like to think I can tell if a player's got it or not, and he definitely didn't look to have. I was willing Canada to win.
Yeah.
Then
I'd say a couple of half chances that he totally missed. Yeah. And you know, I'm the same. I looked at it and I'm thinking, this guy isn't showing me much here. Even though I thought Canada had a really good forward line.
Newcastle had been linked with him. That was the point. You know, he's been brought up for a while now in terms of Newcastle. So again, I was particularly watching his performances.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was like me, but again, I've gone and had a little bit of a prod today and just had a look.
Interesting that Ben said, "I just want them to get somebody in." You know, I would rather wait for the right one than dive in early and get the wrong one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. with you.
Macca said, "He looked non-league level in the Copa."
It's well, yeah. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say non-legal. That's a bit strong, but I know
French league is a farmers league.
I know exactly what he's saying
Yeah.
because he just looked poor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, the French league doesn't have a sponsor anymore for the league.
Yeah, I know he doesn't have a sponsor, but that doesn't stop him from performing in his role. I think that what we're looking at now. Yeah. Dom, what's your thoughts on this lad?
Okay. My personal opinion is I don't think Copa is a great assessment of his ability, because I think that I've got very different views. I don't watch much international football. I don't really support much international football. I'm just a Newcastle guy through and through, right? So when I watch international games, I feel that the dynamics are different because the teammates are different, the manager is different, everything is different, right? So you can get world-class players, but you put them together with a bunch of strangers. I mean, I'm just broadly saying, right? But if you put them for a bunch of 10 other strangers, they are not going to perform the same way as you remember them in the clubs. So first thing is, I don't think Copa is a great assessment of David's ability. Number two, he's a fast out and out striker. I've got I know a lot of mates who say that he's not fit for the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
But hold on, I've got just a small thing to rebut that a little bit. He might not have been good enough for the Premier League in the 90s, right? But today is different. Okay, in the 90s, everyone was doing a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
So you need big, strong strikers. You need strikers that can bully the defense. You need Shearers. You need Duncan Ferguson. Okay, these kind of strikers, the big, tall strikers, were always respected, big and strong, right? But today, everyone is playing 4-3-3s.
Yeah.
So essentially, you have midfielder forwards who are quick. You got false nines in the center. So people like Wilson remain false nines in the center, finishers. But you always have left and right forwards who are fast. From Gordon, Isak. That's exactly why we bought Isak. And David fits that profile. He fits that profile just behind Isak. He's statistically tactical. He's an out and out finisher, but he's fast. He's not that big, but he's fast, and he's supposedly a good finisher on paper. Statistically, he's got 1 goal every 2 games. His stats are pretty good in Lille. From 70 goals in 140 games, the numbers are pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll be honest, before Isak joined us, I didn't really know him. I mean, besides in Sweden, right? I didn't really care about him, right?
No.
And I wouldn't know how he would do. In a smaller club in Spain, I had no idea if he'll do well in Newcastle and all that. And I think it's the same with David as well. He's not exactly a world-class name, but that's exactly what we want. If we can get him for 30 million, I think 30 million is a great number, okay, for him to build his career. Because, I mean, in my opinion, no one cared about Bruno before he joined Newcastle. No one cared about Isak before he joined Newcastle. We made them worldies.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, they weren't famous. They weren't famous before they joined us. They made a name. They solidified their name, right, after they joined Newcastle. So I think
Well,
it could be the same
I
for David.
I hope we're saying them, and in 12 months' time, they clip what I just said before. I hope you're right. But here's the thing, because you're on about 4-3-3, which most clubs play now, which is correct. Jesse Marsh plays 4-3, who's managing Canada now, for those who aren't aware. He plays 4-3-3, exactly the same as Eddie does. High press, hit them on the break, which is exactly the same as we play. And when Jonathan David was using his speed, which he had when Canada created those chances,
Yeah.
and he got away, he fluffed his lines. Because that was exactly that's why Canada got as far as they did. Playing exactly Eddie Howe football. And when they were breaking, he wasn't converting the chances, which is what my reticence towards him is.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
in the Premiership, you don't get a lot of chances.
no. I mean, I must admit, like I say, I haven't seen enough of this lad to be 100%. But you know, I'm going to look at a couple of things that that Foxy's put down here. David, his stats are fooling people. A lot of weaknesses in his overall game. Would be disappointed if we spent good money on him. Why no one's gone near him in 4 years with them consistent stats? Yeah, and it's exactly what we were saying before. Because we already spoke about this on a previous vid, didn't we? And Foxy mentioned it then. Why has nobody gone anywhere near him? Because, like I say, his stats in Ligue 1 have been amazing for the last few seasons. So it does make you wonder. And I only looked at him at I suppose in a deeper way, was because a very well respected ex-Arsenal forward said that this lad was going to be the next best thing since sliced bread, and I thought, well, that's a big commitment to say. I mean, he's a pundit, obviously. I'm not going to mention names because obviously I don't. It doesn't really.
Arsenal are looking for a striker,
a forward. Yeah, so why aren't they gone for him? And that's what I'm saying.
So if he's got Arsenal, why
exactly.
are Arsenal not interested?
And that's what I'm thinking. But
Newcastle have been linked with him for some time now.
Well, there was linked to him last year, wasn't there? Or there was at least talk about him coming in last year.
Yeah, definitely.
But I have seen this.
Listen, I would love to be proved wrong. Go and spend your 30. I was going to say waste your 30 million. Go spend your 30 million and laugh at me. I'd be the happiest bloke in the world if we was knocking in 20 goals a season. But just it's the old eye test.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, mate, I'm in agreement. That's what I said. You know, if I was a brand new coach and I was looking for a centre forward and I'd been watching England, would you buy Harry Kane? If you hadn't seen anything, no, exactly, and that's how I've looked at.
And the other thing I would say to what Dom said, by the way, you know, Bruno came now everybody looks at him. Isaac came now. How much of that is down to Eddie Howe? And Eddie Howe improves players. So maybe we could get the rough diamond that is the current Jonathan David, and Eddie could turn him into the next.
Could turn him into something else. Lewis, I've just turned your mic off for a second, my friend, because we could hear your TV, and we've got to be careful of copyright. So if you want to say anything, just put your thumb up to me or wave at me, and I'll put your mic back on. Super. Yeah, if you're watching TV, my friend, just turn the mic off. That's okay.
It's on silent.
All right, buddy.
It's on silent.
Well, we could hear something in the background, and I just was a bit worried that we weren't going to get. Oh, okay, no worries. It's just at the time when I turned your mic off, it went quiet. So we'll see.
It might be me doing my tag.
Listen, you should be flicking your tag. You know what they say about flicking your tag at this time of night?
No, my tag on me. It's probably where I have.
Okay.
To keep me focused.
So I don't know whether anybody's seen this one. El Junio Krupi. He's an 18-year-old lad, right-footed centre forward, currently at Lorient, and apparently he is a youngster that we are looking to bolster the academy. Very, very good, apparently. Again, I've not seen anything of him. I mean, obviously, that he wasn't playing in League and he's under 19s.
I've even seen his name.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's saying here that he's played 30 games, but again, I don't know. And 11 starts. So for an 18-year-old, he can't be too bad.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at. Again, I'm sure Foxy will give me some idea of where he plays. Let's have a look at. Am I saying that? You look at his stats down here.
He plays for Lorient.
Yeah, I know he plays for Lorient, but I'm just looking at whether he's actually scored any goals for them.
5 goals in 29 games.
He's not getting
5 goals in 29. No, that's what I said. I'm just looking at these stats here. But I mean, if he's come on, goals from inside the box, 4 out of 19. Goals from outside the box, 1. Goal conversion of 23%. So expected goals on his XG 3.78. Again, it's the first time I've looked at him. I'd seen his name crop up today, and I'm like, oh,
that's always a telling stat for me, though. Goals as opposed to if you're scoring more than your XG, you're doing well.
Yeah. I mean, his expected goals is 3.78.
I would like to have seen Jonathan David's XGs. That would have.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Well, I tell you another thing that I think everybody was harping on about Jonathan was the fact that he's injury-free most of the seasons. He doesn't get
the best ability is availability.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, has anybody? Somebody's coming in and out there. I don't know who that is.
It's on me.
No. Rowley, have you heard anything of this guy?
Not a thing. Not a thing.
No.
But if they're looking for the academy, again, it's all about beefing up the academy so we've got players coming through.
Yeah.
He'd be one that obviously if he's 18, you'd be hoping that he's able to fit in and make some waves in the under 21s. Maybe train with the first team squad. But so I really don't know anything about him. No. But the way we're going, we're year on year, we've been recruiting players into the youth system than we have done in a long time. So that's the other thing. I trust the scouting system. That we have no reason to be sort of what's the way to be mistrustful of them, because you look at the players, the senior level that they brought in. There's hardly been a crock, and I know people say, "Oh, Chris Wood," but he was brought in to do a job, and he did that job, which was to keep us up.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting. Everybody knew what Chris Wood was. He didn't score many goals, but the ones he did score were important ones. Because he got like 4 goals, and they're all sort of won-us games. So, I'm not going to sort of quibble too much about him. But pretty much everybody else has come in and improved the standard of the squad. Matt Target's the other one that you'd say maybe a miss, but you can't really judge him on last season because he was injured for all of it.
Yeah, exactly. JJ saying about his transfer fee. I'm just going to have I think it's something like he was looking at 15 million, I think, for this lad. If it's this lad you're thinking about, JJ, just give us the a nod if that's the one you're thinking of, or was that David, the other lad? But just going to do a quick pause, guys. There's lots of people in the views. If you are on X, if you want to come over onto YouTube, smash the like button for us. We'd be most grateful for you to give us some support, just so we can grow the channel. You're going to do us the world of good just to reach further afield. Now, I mean, the one thing I do like with this, again, I don't know how much Mitchell's been involved or whether it literally is just lads that they're looking at, 17 to 19, if you like, just to fill the void of the exodus of players that left last season. At the end of in May, June time, and we've got to have a complete overhaul of the academy to support, obviously, our ventures forward. And we've already spoke about, me and Win have spoke about Harrison coming through the ranks now, obviously going to hopefully fill that void that's been left by Miley. Now, there's going to be lots of people out there that look at this and go, is Harrison ready? Now, nobody will know, like we didn't know anything about Miley until he actually danced on the green carpet, did we? It's a gamble for any of the youngsters coming on board.
I'm just wondering about that Kruppy, Gary. With him being in France.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Paul Mitchell. What I'm saying is, where did you see the connection? Because
it was just a link that was out there, NUFC, and it was El Junior. And at first I thought, oh, is it a Brazilian lad? Because like El Junior, I'm thinking, oh, we've got a Brazilian lad coming our way. But it was obviously this Kruppy from Lorient.
Paul Mitchell grew the Monaco youth academy.
Yeah.
Such that they are now providing the majority of the Monaco first team. The playing minutes of academy players playing for the first team under Paul Mitchell went up from something ridiculous like 230 minutes up to 3,500 minutes.
So was Mbappe at Monaco before he went to PSG?
That I couldn't see.
He probably was. I have no idea.
I'm heading out now.
Lewis, thank you ever so much for coming on board, my friend. I'll see you again soon. Take care of yourself.
No problem. You too. All the best.
Cheers, Lewis.
Cheers.
So, Foxy, I see Foxy's so up to date with all his stuff. Kruppy is a talent. Lorient got relegated to League Two, but he stood out in a poor season for them. 1 year signed to loan out immediately. There you go. So he's obviously got some credibility about him. So, like I said, I know about you were saying about Mitchell and his French connections, and I think there's going to be quite a few other French names that we see. I can just see John Kupp here, Norwegian kroner, I think that is, isn't it? Thank you so much for your super sticker, John. You are brilliant for the support. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, at Monaco.
Was it Monaco? Yeah.
Yeah, but we went to PSG.
I say it did sound right, but that's been how long's that been, Rowley?
He was there from 2013 to 2015.
Yeah.
Is that the Mitchell era?
Oh, well, that was before. Way before the Mitchell era, yeah.
Yeah. So Mitchell was after that, wasn't he?
Yeah,
it was 2000s.
Mitchell was
that
still
Mitchell
playing
was
then.
Yeah. Well, 2004? Did you say? Rowley?
No,
did you say it was 2004?
Rowley said
2013.
Oh no, Mitchell had retired at 2009.
I thought you said 2004.
It's funny the fact that we're looking now at this up to 23-year-old seems to be, as you said yesterday, with the ceiling at the moment for any new incomings they're very young, fresh players that, well, I must say fresh. You have to take that with a pinch of salt these days.
As we've said on
with our
numerous
injuries.
occasions, the academy needs a complete and utter overhaul. You know, we've got to. It was out with the old. That was very much the case in June. Out with the old.
Yeah.
And we've got to restock.
Yeah, I know that, but like I say, I don't think this lad, like Foxy said, I don't think this lad was going to come in for as he's playing for the first team now at the age of 18. I think this lad is going to be like Minte. He's going to be one of them that you bring in and literally get back out on loan for a season just to get that experience. I don't think he'd ever even come into the academy. I mean, I'd be surprised if he did, but I also think he's probably a bit too green to be our second striker. If Wilson's staying, maybe our third striker, he may be ideal. But are you losing an option then to get him out with the experience and for not getting enough games?
I think if he's in the pipeline, I think it's very much with the academy in mind.
Yeah.
Even though we've got a 16-year-old pulling up trees in the Euros.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Yamal's just been outstanding. I have finished. Apart from going over what we've already gone over, and like I said, I did bring up David again, only because I wanted to look a little bit more.
What we were talking about in the green room about Spain getting fined. Did you hear that, Rolly? Spain getting fined for playing Yamal?
No.
But he's only 16 and you're not allowed to work after 10 p.m. So they got fined.
So they got fined
because he was only 16. And I said, well, hang on a minute. They're going to get fined again, or he doesn't. Is he not playing in the final? But it's actually his birthday. It's his 17th birthday on Sunday.
So they won't get fined again.
Let's hope he doesn't get a nice birthday present.
We can spoil his birthday.
Yeah, let's hope we do spoil his birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. Foxy said that Krupi reminds him of Defoe, the way he strikes the ball. So that's interesting. I wouldn't mind another Defoe at the club. I know we never had.
Can he write a good book?
Is there anything else, Mighty, that you want to talk about before we?
Well, the only thing that might be of interest to some of the viewers is we are almost certainly going to have a get-together at the Salah Cup game on the Saturday. So if anybody is interested, if anybody's going to the Salah Cup game on the Saturday, August the 10th, go into the WhatsApp fans forum, let me know, and I'll add you. I'm setting up a separate WhatsApp group for the meetup pre-Salah Cup game, and I'll add you to that, and then you'll be able to keep you abreast of what the arrangements are going to be. Because depending on numbers, we'll have to find somewhere, hopefully with a half-decent Wi-Fi system, so that we can do a bit of a live link up with the studio as well for the watch-along.
For the watch-along, yeah. Dom, is there anything that you've listened to over the last couple of days? Because I know you only come on once or twice a week, and I haven't seen you for a while, my friend. So is there anything that you want to get off your chest? Is there anything that you've seen that excites you, upsets you, something that you want to talk about?
On the club? I mean, because I've been ranting about Euros for weeks now. But for the club, no. For the first time in a long time, I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I mean, this is I'm not the only guy saying this, right? But and I'm not looking back. I'm not dwelling on anything, right? But I'm really one of those guys who who feel grateful and really am at peace, right? Because we have seen so much dark times. I mean, once again, I'm not dwelling, but reminiscing is good. You can't possibly imagine being a Newcastle supporter all the way in Southeast Asia when your club's in the championship. It's the weirdest thing. No one believes you because in Southeast Asia, everyone supports the best clubs. From the 90s, everyone was supporting Manchester United and all that, because in Southeast Asia, marketing is everything. So everyone supports the biggest and best clubs. So to be a Newcastle supporter in Southeast Asia when your club's in the championship, that's an experience that nobody in the whole world, outside of Newcastle, nobody in the whole world has ever experienced except for us, right? And we did that twice.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that if it's club related, like I said, if it's I'm happy with all the transfer rumors. I've mentioned many times on the show I've got a problem with journalists, right? So I've got a problem with journalists. I think much of it is smoke and mirrors, agents trying to drive prices up. But all transfer rumors to us, not away, but to us, makes me happy. I think we're heading the right direction. I'm glad we're moving forward. I'm glad with what Ashworth did. I hate the fucker, but I'm glad what he did for us initially. I'm happy for Paul Mitchell. Looking forward to greater things. So yeah, I don't have any gripes about the
anything rumbling. Rowley, anything from yourself, matey? I've just got a couple of things that I'm going to just finish the show on, but I just want to get your. Today is your shows. This is why it's the fan forum. It's for you guys to have the voice. Me and my mate to the right of me, we have lots to say on this channel. But like I say, for you guys, this is your time.
Yeah, on the transfer rumours thing, I get a bit bored of it because our best transfers happen out of nothing. The best deals.
This is what we said for ages.
Mitchell. Obviously, we heard that he was linked right at the beginning of the search for the director of football, and then nothing. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we've got him. And I think it's like Isak. When we bought him, no one knew we were looking at him. Bam! 2 days, we got him. Tonali, everyone was talking about Barella.
Yeah.
Then we get him. A lot of Bruno as well. No one knew we were after him. We get him. So all the best signings.
Well, it was Paqueta, wasn't it? All the noise was around Paqueta at the time. Then Bruno come on board. But regarding Mitchell, see, I think Mitchell was there, but couldn't actually be in the role because obviously we still got one. Now the legalities of having somebody on garden leave, that he could have quite easily gone and said it's unlawful, blah blah blah, and that would have put us in a different.
It wouldn't have been that, but he also had the court case going.
Going on, the arbitration and things like that, wasn't it?
Tribunal.
That's what I'm saying.
He was claiming constructive dismissal, and if he
exactly,
pointed
the finger there,
they've got Paul Mitchell lined up. That's how.
That's what I'm saying. So he would have. Well, we held the ammunition. Go on, mate.
Give him a different job description, saying, "Oh, he's not taking your job; he's doing a different role."
Well, he's actually got a different job description because he's not director of football. He's sporting
director. Which is the one up. So just going on. Sorry, mate. Finish off, Rowley.
Yeah, I was just say they could have got around it that way, but it's the fact that it came out of the blue.
Yeah,
I like. And I like to do the best deals are done behind closed doors.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. We've said for ages there's lots of red mist out there, and I think that's either very good way of keeping the wolves away from the raw meat type of thing.
Good conjuring.
And I think that
Carlo Hyler said here, look, yeah, let Mitchell find some unknown worldies. All these linked players will have nothing on the unknowns he finds. When we go into Japan, we can come back with Kubo.
That's the next thing. We need to sign. I mean, not just for the sake of it. I know you tell me, Dom, would it be worth signing one just for the sake of it? A South Korean or a Japanese player, or Chinese player, just purely for marketing.
They've got to be good enough.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Maybe not China, right? We can try. We can try Korea.
Yeah, they've got to be good enough. Is.
Who's the Malaysian? Who's the Malaysian Zidane? Can we get him?
I have no idea, mate. I have no
idea. Mighty Mag has just come on here. Hold on, Dom.
Yeah.
Any of you guys heard about this? They've signed some more backroom staff today.
Yeah.
I haven't heard. Is this what you was talking about, Win? The analysis.
All I know is that they were looking for a top of the tree analyst.
Can anybody in the chat just give us some ideas of who that was?
I think Rolly might have heard something.
Yeah, there's they brought in one of Mitchell's subordinates who was at Monaco with him.
Oh, right.
Okay.
His name, but I'm sorry, just Foxy going on about the Belgian.
Yeah,
because I don't rate it, but the country.
The other thing that I was going to mention was what Mighty Mag said on here. Look, Diaby, he's off to Saudi Arabia. Apparently, there's links with him going to Saudi, which obviously means that he's obviously unhappy with Villa. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing him here.
Oh no, I think we dodged a bullet there because I was the same. I fancied him here. But
again, you're talking a different manager, and like I said, I think his nose was put out because he was no longer first choice, and like.
Yeah, but why wasn't he first choice? Because he was first choice when he went.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying to you is some managers see something different in other players. And if you look at the way Anthony Gordon was when we first signed him from January up until May, his first season, he tried so hard. He was trying to do everything right for the team and things just wasn't going right. He needed that time in the team before it clicked. Now, couldn't Diaby be the similar type of player? Is he not just somebody that just needs to be, wanted, and then you could get something out of him? Because he's proved when he first went to Villa that he's obviously good enough for the Premiership. But like you say, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just found that a little bit strange. Beer Viking said it's the you can't trust the Germans, Ian. They said he wouldn't invade Poland. Ex-Monaco director of performance, James Bunce. He's expected to be announced as a Newcastle new director of performance. Well, there you go. So that's there you go. This is all the backroom. That's what I said. This is all the jigsaws now being put into place before they start rolling this stuff out. It's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of months.
Filling in the middle now.
Absolutely.
That's the hard bit, isn't it? Filling in the sky.
Filling in the sky. Yeah, the clouds that all look the same.
Yeah,
or all the blue. But I mean, it's from my point of view, I know it gets frustrating for fans, and I keep saying this, but I've seen so many of the big clubs, the Chelseas, the Man U's, spend millions and millions and millions on players that aren't actually doing anything at the club. I mean, look at that Van der Beek who's now gone for 500,000. How much did he cost Man U when they bought him? Was he something near 50 million? And he's been sold today for 500,000. We just can't afford. Well, we can afford it. What I'm saying is, we can't afford to do it because of our restrictions. And what we're going to end up doing is having, lads sat in the reserves, not supporting the team, and we've got past that now. You know, I hate saying it, but the deadwood of the club has now more or less gone. I mean, I saw yesterday that Fraser's still hanging on to the purse strings, trying to get a little bit of money out of the club. So that deal is still not finalised with Southampton.
I hope to God he plays for Southampton in the first game.
Oh, and me.
Oh God,
but at this present moment in time, and I expected him to start or to turn up today. Because obviously the lads have all turned back.
He'll make Pickford look like a crowd favourite.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it was lovely to see the lads all turn up for training. It was super.
Yeah.
And I must admit, Tonali looks stream. And I'll tell you something now. Tino. Oh, wow. Tino looks a different kid now. He's phenomenal. But again, this is what worries me with kids when they're not supported by professionals, because a lot of players think they have to be muscle bound to get that pace, and they don't. All muscle bound will do, if it's not in your genetics, will create injuries or potential injuries, and that's something that we saw enough of last year. We certainly don't want to see that this year. But to be fair, guys, I have nothing else in the pipeline. Anybody else got anything before we say good night?
No,
Dom?
I think that's.
No, you good?
Yeah.
I think we've covered. Again, I don't want to keep going over everything. Love the shirt, buddy. That is stunning. I love that new shirt. Next week, can you come on with a white one, just so I can have a look at it? Guys in the background, all the mods, thank you so much for all your support. Again, happy birthday, Queenie. Hope you've had a good one. Thank you, everybody, for all the watchers. Please, please, please don't forget to smash that like button on the way out, because without your support, we just don't get as far. Rowley,
Dom,
thank you so much.
Dom, you'll get an extra hour's sleep next week because we're back on normal time.
Yeah, normal time. Dom, thanks so much, buddy, for your commitment and getting up in the early hours of the morning just to have your say, because, again, that's what we're here for. So, guys, again, smash the like button before you go. It's a good night from him.
It's a good night from him.
Good night, guys.